Hey, I got something to say.
Are you muted, Trudeau? You are muted. Welcome, everyone. We can't hear you, though. Welcome. Welcome to CryptoEMC. My name is Fibonacci, and today with me is my trade buddy, the chart artist. He's not allowed to talk because he wanted to mute me because I was the moon boy. Now he get punished. How are you guys doing this morning?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Finally fixed it. Hello, Lee. Yes, we still have Lee as Moon Lee.
You wanted to mute me, you muted yourself. Well done.
Yes, karma does come to you. Welcome, everybody. So, what do we want to talk to you about? Well, basically, we want to ask a big question. And I asked Lee this question, and his answer was, show me the charts. What was the question, though, Lee?
What was your question? No, you say, are the alts ready to moon? Right?
Yeah, no, he's got moon fever. Let's mute Lee. I asked world.
I've got fever. I don't know if it is the moon fever, but I've got fever. That's true.
Well, let's answer that question because I want to know the answer. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm looking at alts. I have a bag of alts, and I'm worried. You know, is this over? Is this a dead cat bounce? You have to be worried. You have to always be skeptical because everybody's so comfortably bullish. Doesn't that bother you, Lee?
No.
You're not bothered at all.
No. Like I said, I've got like 38, 39 degree. I don't know. I feel like this moon fever. I was trying to go, and maybe I get cold on the way to the moon. So, but I'm still bullish. Don't you worry. I'm still bullish.
Okay,
a broken clock can be right twice in a day, right? So maybe it's time for the moon boys, for everyone to be a trading god and hero again. And finally, we're going to make some money. But the key is, are we going to take the profit this time?
That's the tricky one. Are you guys willing to take some profit? It comes with risk of losing out on some more. It's the same thing as taking an entry. It comes with risk of losing some of your stable. Taking profit means you might lose out on some more. So it's a big question we want to answer. First things first, Leonardo, make contact with the CryptoEMC account. We want to have you live backstage this coming Friday. And everybody that missed out because there weren't any backstage last week Friday, make contact again because I still owe you a hello and I want to meet and greet each and every one of you guys. Okay, so Lee, let's not waste anybody's time. I think 3 minutes in, we've got a big question. Alt season versus Bitcoin. Okay, so the way that I go about this, I'm going to flip my chart around like this because Lee doesn't believe me, guys. He does not believe me at all. He thinks that I'm talking nonsense. So the way I'm going to go about it is, first thing is I'm going to look at Ethereum. And I'm going to ask you a question. Looking at Ethereum now. This is my Ethereum chart. Let me just quickly draw out these lines. Does this chart from this point on point to us the possibility for more upside? And for me, the answer is yes, because what have we done? Well, we've been trending down quite aggressively. We've broken the trend. We've changed the character. And for the Moon Boys, what have we done? We have broken this momentum line, the simple I can shift this line as I need it. Okay, so now there's a new line that you guys need to think about. Any Moon Boy is not going to do this. He's going to have a line over there, and he's going to have a line over there.
Oh, we're going to go test that line.
Yes. Okay, great. So this is good. This is good for us. Remember what Lee said Friday. It's in a third wave is normally when all the indicators out there works. Everything just works because what? The market is bullish. So that's something that you need to consider. So I'm thinking that sometimes the market first gives before tax. That's how it works. Otherwise, if the casino didn't give you a little bit, or the idea of sell the allure that you can win, and it was just you go in and give them the money in your pocket, nobody would go there again. That's the same what trading does. It gives everybody that hope, that allure, that there's that possibility. So for a lot of people, that's going to be the new allure, the new hope. So for me, thinking at that stage, what would happen is we either get above this level and we can start trending up to that area there. A $4,000 Ethereum might sound very bullish and very juicy. Or what we can do is we can track down, test the axis for continuation and meet this at a different range. Now, there's the imbalance. This is the area where the magnet is sitting. We're currently in this range over here. So the first magnet's already done its job. We don't have any more magnets here where we are at now. So if we go back down, test our axis, we hit back up, go to our big magnet, close to where our momentum line is, that would be an area where I would expect a lot of taking profit will occur. Now, that being said, it's still not answering the big one, Bitcoin versus the alts, which one would do better? So the way that we go about it is we look at Ethereum, but not Ethereum as a USDT pricing, but we look at Ethereum as a BTC pricing. Now, Lee, this is an interesting chart. If you look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and we look at Ethereum since August 2015, the time that you would really actually have wanted to be in Ethereum would have been that one over there. Would you agree with me? Because you would be holding your BTCs and you want to jump into Ethereum just to get back into your BTCs, because the curve is quite flat there. And the only time that you would have made a bag full of Bitcoin for holding Ethereum would have been in that short while. Now let's undo this. Look at the next time. And what was the gains? How much Bitcoin would we have made if we moved our Bitcoin to Ethereum? Well, you ought to have 1,000% more Bitcoin. I don't know. Is it 1 Bitcoin to 100? Or 1 Bitcoin to 10, Lee?
I don't know.
Come on, Mr. Head Maths.
Yeah, but no,
1,000%.
I can't. Like I told you today, I can't
Anyways.
think. I'm really, I've got fever. I can't think. I want to
Okay,
be
he's got
lazy.
moon fever.
Just tell me which all
Lee's
to buy
got
and I'll
moon
buy.
fever. Okay, so that's the thing. So that's a crazy thing. And if you think about it, at that stage, when would it really have paid to be in Ethereum? If you think about it, the existence of Ethereum was about 676 days at that stage, only of which you would really have wanted to be in it, in that sense, for 116 days out of those 600 days. One can look at the smaller time frame and argue the same. Maybe it's a little bit more if you really want to get technical. There's another 70 days there where you've made another insane gain on your BTC. But all the other times, it would have been better bet to be in Bitcoin. Now, if we moved up, remember now, alts are maturing, Bitcoin's maturing, the market's getting bigger. We're getting back to that same analogy where we can look at, if we now look at when was the last time it paid to really be in Ethereum, as opposed to where we are now, what have we done? Well, we've been accumulating for 4 years. There's 1,444 days, as I clicked it over there, that we've just been going sideways. You would have made a little bit of Bitcoin, or you've lost it again if you were hodling or investing. The same argument there from where you are now. So the thing that I'm looking at, if I now scale up the market and I look at the way that this is working, is it's easy to assume that if we want to be bullish and you want to treat a trend as if it's going to last forever, the argument that we have to do within the emotional scale of things, remember the market rhymes, but it never repeats. So it will do the same sequence of events maybe, or roughly in the same order, but it won't look the same in the chart. So we should not look for it to identically, to copy what happened in the past, but it's going to play out on the same basis. So if we look at this now, and we look at where we are, people that were doing this, looking at Ethereum in that instance, would have probably been very happy and wouldn't have expected this big run. Now, we've got some good fundamental news of Ethereum kicking in, and I'm not going to dive into that because I don't want to take too much of the time. But the main thing is looking at this, is it's easy for us to say that if we look at Ethereum to the BTC pairing, what have we done? Well, we had a big impulse. We made a higher high, and we're not making a lower low. So we're not showing any signs of weakness at this stage. Can we come back down to these areas? Yes, most definitely. But if we want to treat the trend as if it's going to last forever, one can argue, simply put, that the end of this alt season or this Ethereum season has not reached, we have not reached that end. We're still waiting for that. What would be the end of it? Simply, boom, boom, on our way down. We haven't seen that. So until then, we can then say, well, at some stage, we're going to get this Ethereum beating Bitcoin, or it's not going to do it. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball I can give you a 100% direct answer. But what I can say is that that possibility is still there. So isn't it nice that the possibility is there? With that being said, Lee, Ethereum, if Ethereum starts going crazy over Bitcoin, will that ignite an alt season?
That may be the start.
Definitely. It has
The alt season is what? The first Bitcoin. After that is the major
caps.
Okay, and then the smaller caps, and then those I don't know, DGen coin or micro alts.
Yeah, so there's a sequence of events. Why? Money goes into the crypto market, normally goes to Bitcoin. Then it does well. Money looks to diversify. Ethereum, major caps, they do well. Money can add more risk to their portfolio and say, well, now I can go into smaller projects that's got more upside, but each time using less and less of their portfolio to move in. And because they're so small, it still does a big move, gives it a big kick. From that point on, it goes into crazy mode. Like the last alt season where, what do? Anything you buy pretty much makes money. Lee, that's a nice feeling. And I don't think when we get to that, we appreciate that enough, that I can buy anything and it's okay. I miss that feeling, don't you? Don't you guys miss that feeling?
It was nice.
Okay. But it will come again, and then we'll just run that and milk it for all it is worth, and then sit back again, back in stable, and grab the next opportunity. Okay, so now with that being said, there's definitely the possibility. Question answered. Bitcoin versus alts, there's a big possibility that alts is going to outperform Bitcoin at some stage. We just have to keep our mind in, but it's not, I've shown you now how you can invalidate that, simply put, by looking at Ethereum to BTC chart. Now let's look at Bitcoin, Lee. Now, Bitcoin played out exactly as you've been predicting. So you gave a nice Bitcoin buy area, and I think this wick, close to this wick, moved back down into where your buy area was from last week. And the argument is that's a big major demand zone that got tested there. Oops, and it's on its way. Now, worryingly, what do I not want to see? Well, I don't want to see us closing below this wick over here. Yes, because it shows us that maybe the move's over.
Well, and no, but this 44, I don't want to see a low.
Look at that.
44.3, what? Yeah, 44.3, 44.1. Huh?
Yes, you don't want to see that. 44. You can make it 5 falls in a row. Let's make it a nice even number, or a nice crazy.
Well, basically, number. I don't want to see a lower low on that supply.
Don't want to lose that demand.
No. Yeah. But it's not that big problem. Even if you lose that, there's another. You pointed out perfectly here at 40K, 41K. There's another demand. We can still be in an uptrend even if we drop to 40,000. Okay, that would be, for me, that would be much too easy to get back into this trade. What I would like to see, what I would like the market to do is don't give the opportunity for the people that are late, that are not convinced that this is a bull run or that this is an impulse wave, to get into this trade. Because a lot of people are waiting for a decent retrace to get back into this trade, and they're not confident enough now to take a trade at 44, 45K.
So they want to do this. And nobody likes to do this because it feels like, oh, it's too much of a gamble. So that is definitely correctly, and I kind of share the same sentiment. And like I said the last time round, if we do this and we get above this critical demand line that I highlighted in lime green, things are going to really start getting crazy, because this was our ultimate target. Maybe the market has some common sense. Maybe it does not need to go that crazy. Keeps on deleting the wrong thing. We just do that. Maybe it doesn't need to go.
Maybe that retrace can only happen at 52. People start to FOMOing with leverage, and it's gonna depend on the price, on the leverage and the funding rates. If there's a lot of people to liquidate at that stage, then market can retrace heavily, maybe to shake everyone out and continue this uptrend again. So it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna depend on the order book, honestly.
That's it. Right. So with that said, let's have a look at the total. Let's just quickly, I just want to quickly see where the total is in conjunction with this. So finally, the entire market has reached the point where we're making a higher high. So I'm happy with that. And now common sense retrace for the alts and everything around that line means that maybe the total can do this, then go down, or it can stay here and then go down. But I would want to see it just test this lateral range over here, $1.8 trillion. If it can go down to that range at that stage, that would be great. Now, where was the most gains had the last time around? It would be in the alts. So it has to be the alt season that gets more punished in the alts combined rather than Bitcoin, because like we just explained to you, I don't want to see Bitcoin lose half its value, because obviously it's not going to be a $41,000 retrace. If it loses half its value, or it needs to get that total down there, it's going to be losing 40,000 and going back to the low 30s or even into the 20s. So I want to see the alts get punished for that. All the more reason for us to then buy in at some of these levels, because they've changed their character now. Now you want support tests. So that being said, if you look at the total two, we've got a lot of retrace to come down and test. I mean, that's the 16% area. That's still technically where we would want to retrace this range over here. So let's wait and see where it needs to go.
Well, that's the easy trade. But the Moonboy trade is not like this. The Moonboy one is just going to go and you're never going to catch this train.
That's it. And we do have evidence of that. You want to see some Moonboy evidence? Well, simple. Look at how the alts can get away from people. Look at this. After this big rundown, expected long accumulation, and then what did it do? Just went straight back up. So you do get that crazy. So you have to be agile enough to change your mind and get in when it shows you bullish. It still gave everybody a good chance to get back in that maybe missed this range over here by still retracing quite aggressively. So, I mean, this is just go through a lot of them, all of them, 1 inch. It's now the first one on this list. Fell down, went back up, came right back down now. So, I mean, some of them are crazy retraces. So we do have that opportunity. Okay, so now Lee, Bitcoin trend. Is Bitcoin holding a trend at the moment? It's consolidating. It's definitely consolidating. Now, why am I saying that? Well, simply put, remember when we were at this range, I explained to you guys, we need to hold our point and figure trend line, our demand line. Those are ones you don't shift. Once it's there, it's there. You need to hold that, and what you don't want to see is us breaking it. Now, normally when we break it and we're trending down, we'll have a trend, an opposite line, a supply line that gets honored. And only once it breaks, we'll go lateral again. So what we've done is we have gone up. Sorry for sounding like a simple commentator on this, but we've gone up and we've gone lateral now. At some stage, we need to create a trend maybe, or wick down aggressively into one of these demand areas, come back up and continue our trend to the upside. That is what I expect to do. And this is that thief in the night trade, Lee, where it basically just wicks down, catches everybody off guard, and then goes. And then that's that thing where you get that chasing market, the chasing market that you actually want to see. So let's have a look at this Bitcoin chart again. So where would your chasing market line be? If it does this, or even this in one move, that would be a big chasing market. Nobody would buy, and nobody would trust this range. Everybody else would FOMO in at this range again. Wouldn't you agree?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, nobody will buy. I think a lot of people will buy the seeds. If something like this happens, it has to be like fast.
Yeah,
and the only purpose of that is to shake people out from the leverage platform, and don't give you opportunity to get it back in the train.
You don't have
because if they spend time within that range, if there is a retrace and spend time on that, then it doesn't look nice to them anymore.
No, you don't want to see this. That's a wick in and leave. You don't have the funding rate. Is it positive, or longs getting paid, or shorts getting paid to short?
I think they're wasting a little bit of time within that range just to see what the market is. If people are bullish, now I feel like, you know what, anything you guys are doing right now, it's a loss, basically, the more people are buying right now, especially with leverage, market's gonna go down. If you don't buy, market's gonna go up. There is a certain situation or certain range where the market will have, will get you no matter what you do. So from right now, it's being patient. You wanna take a trade, don't put heavy leverage. You saw what happened last week. I told you the leverage on alt was really high. It was really risky. And what the market did, they come back and they retrace 7%. And that is the same right now. They're testing the market and see if we are bullish, if we are, really like moon boy, and then you're gonna go like 20x, 50x, 100x. Market is gonna hurt you. But if you don't do anything, market's gonna go up. So if you are not in the trade right now, but the best thing is to just wait, have a little bit more patience. Even if it goes up, we know they're not gonna go up indefinitely. So wait for a decent retrace to buy.
Lee, that's it. Live trading. Last week, Wednesday. As usual, we trade live. We did an analysis. We used your custom indicator as well to verify some of the ranges, the targets. And we live trade out of our Primex BT account. Can you quickly just tell everybody how that went? Just a quick update. And what are we going to do this Wednesday? Are we going to repeat it? Because the video actually got muted. So we've got a bit of a problem there. So can you touch on that for us?
It was muted because we were listening to some music, I think.
Some illegal. I'm not allowed to listen to music.
What we did, I think we took one trade. We got stopped out. Okay, it was planned. It was stopped out. And then after that, we waited like 2 hours to get another 2 trades. One of them, I closed it almost at target. The second one, Rudo, you closed it when you saw the first red candle coming. It was a lack of communication between us, but rather take profit than having losses. But yeah, the market is still at the same place, so we're gonna catch another one. Yeah.
That's a nice thing. We've got patience. We can wait for them, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, there's always, like we said, there's always a trade. There's always another trade. You just need to wait for. Work a little bit. I mean, if you can work 3 hours a day and catch a nice trade that's gonna pay you, a few percentages, what else you can have what better job you have? You only work like 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 hours a day, and you get a nice trade, you take profits, and sometimes even one trade a week, it's enough. That's
true. Look at Telos. Have you looked at this thing?
I'm following Telos every single day. People are blaming me that because they think I'm shilling this coin. So, but I'm following every single day. I'm pretty happy. Proves that I can trade other coins as well, not only Bitcoin. So I got Telos at 71. I got Telos at 74, 75, and it went to close to $1. And we're going, yeah.
Yeah, so it's doing nicely. So any test on this demand line, guys? Redraw this on your chart. Any test on this line?
No, my job is done. Tell me, Rudo, where do I take profit?
Well, that's a tricky one. Somewhere up there. That's where we want to be taking profit, guys. So as an investor and as a long-term swing trade, that's what you should be waiting for. Short-term leverage, you don't want to be waiting until then. The funding rate's going to kill you.
I think we are on spot. I am on spot. So I think I'm done with the entries. I'm just waiting for this trend to unfold. And Rudo, you are really good at taking profit. So I'm counting on you and following your advice on taking my profit here.
First big profit zone, I would imagine, you need to be looking at this area over here. There's some supply sitting in there. So remember the market's DNA as such, or that's Lee's term, I'm stealing it, but I love the term. The market has a memory, it's got a momentum to it, and it's a living organism, and that's the speed at which it's moving. So this angle is unique to Telos. And once we reach this line, we can expect some supply to enter the market. So anything around that range would be a brilliant take profit. Which day? I don't know, because that's the tricky part. We can track the trend momentum and say, maybe it holds this momentum all the way till it reaches that. Then the earliest would be the 10th of April. Maybe it loses it and it establishes a flatter line. Then that moves on, 26th of April. This is the nice thing about charting. Once you've got a little bit of a structure and a bit of a basis, you can then set time, constraints to by which you would want to move. And on that note, time constraints, Lee and I'm in a big disagreement, and we need you guys' help. We've got a chart, AAVE versus THETA. And I said we were breaking even, and Lee said I'm a bad loser. And where's your chart? We need your help. Let's quickly have a look at this thing. Lee, bring up that chart. Okay, so please explain to everybody that's maybe new what this chart signifies. We need your help. Who's the winner here?
So I don't know when was it? It was on January 2022, right? So we charted theta against BTC compared to AAVE against BTC. So this is a chart that compare these two pairing, theta BTC, AAVE BTC. So the argument was it better to be in theta or AAVE in order to get more Bitcoin at the end of this period? So we started 12th of January, if that chart is correct, and we were starting at that level here. If this chart is going up, meaning that it was better to be in theta to gain more Bitcoin. And if it's going down, it was better to be in AAVE to gain more BTCs. And we give it an end date because we needed, this bet to end sometimes. And I asked Udo, when do you wanna close this bet? And Udo told me end of March, 31st of March.
You know why?
Because
THETA had some fundamental news launching the end of March. So it was the basis of sell the event.
Yeah. So 31st of March is that candle. We started the bet here using this, let's call it this yellow line. And the daily candle close on 31st of March was this one, the blue one. So for me, I won because the daily close was above this average line. And Trudeau said, but where's the trend now? I mean, the price is dropping right here. So for me, I said, it's trending down, but the bet was until the 31st of March. So you guys tell me, did I win? Yes or no? It is a simple question, Udo. Did I win that bet?
This
yes
is a Verstappen moment. I think so. We need your guys' help. Am I going to get an extra day? Or are we going to roll back one day? Or are we going to give this victory to Lee?
Is Verstappen the world champion in 2021? Yes or no? That was really
come on. Too many Lees. I don't like this. Come on, guys. Give me something here. Okay, but I'm right fundamentally because I remember the call was that long term is going to do better. That's all I'm going to say to myself because a race driver never admits when he loses. The same for a trader. Okay, so Lee, I think it's yours. It's one of those things. The line was defined.
I'll take it. I don't care if it's 1 millisecond or 10 seconds or 1 minute or one lap. It's a one.
I want to ask you one thing. To do one thing for me, Lee, just go to the 1 hour. Can you move this chart to a 1 hour?
Yeah. Listen, it's a daily close. So
go to the 1 hour. I've got a sneaky move up my sleeve here. Okay. So let's see where the daily close was. What's the date of the daily close? Go to the daily close for me.
31st.
Okay, draw a line there at that last hour.
Last hour.
Yes.
Oh, no, you're gonna tell me which time zone. Is that what you're gonna say?
I'm winning because I'm +2 and you're on -4. So on that basis,
no, TradingView, it's exactly the same. Whether it's -4 +2, it will give you the exact time. I can put you on your -2 here.
Let's move on. I think we need to rewind. I just want to have some rewind trading. Yeah, it's 30 minutes in. We've got about 10 minutes to spend on this. I think it's overwhelmingly Lee's got it. Right, guys. So what I need your help. I want to show you guys how I rewind and apply some simple. I'm not going to go into 3 facets of it because at the end of the day, it will be too much to do too quick. So I'm just going to do simple supply and demand, the first law, and show you guys how I go about this. And this is normally very fun. So what I need is I've got a chart prepared for you guys. And I need you to change the chart for me. So quickly, first coin I can see, but it has to be one with a lot of history. I don't want something that launched 2 days ago. So give me a coin name quickly. Let's quickly have a look. And preferably on Binance, because I've got a Binance list here. Let's quickly see. So yes, Lee, let's let the record show you won the first bet. Didn't we do others as well? Was it just these
No.
two?
That's just one.
Okay, so the first coin that came through is Atom. Okay, cool. Let me just make sure. Yes, Atom. All right. Okay, so Atom, and then give me a time frame, guys. Daily, 4 hour. It's no use going into seconds. I can, but then there's going to be big gap jump. So let's stay above 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Give me quickly a time frame. So while we do that, I've already got some Atom lines. I'm just going to go to a different one that's clean. And prepare the chart for you guys. I just want to make sure it does this and I don't delete everything on the other chart as well. Okay, so I don't have a time. Where do I have a time slot here? Let me quickly see. Oh, there's a lot of 1 hours. I think it's 1 hour is the one that won. No, actually the first one was a daily. Okay, right guys, so we're going to stay on the daily. So what I'm going to do is, the argument with something like this is now you've already seen it, so it's easy to be bullish. But the basis that I want to teach you guys is, and you treat a trend as if it's going to last forever. So if you treat it that way, meaning I'm bullish, I'm going to remain bullish. I'm playing this thing bullish because crypto is new fundamentally. It's being adopted worldwide. You don't have any other reason ever to be bullish on a long term at this stage, unless there's some quantum computer that can hack the blockchain and crazy. You don't have a reason to think other than that, because it's the way the future of money is migrating towards. So we have to think that way. So on that basis, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay on the daily, but maybe I'm going to ask to just break the parameters because we don't have a lot. I mean, this is 2020. So I'm just going to go on to the one, maybe let's do the 4 hour. Just go into the 4 hour. So I just have a little bit more candles. And then what I want to do is zoom right back to the back end. Let's do it this way. It will be quicker. Rewind it. Rewind button, get the line there. I'll hit it at the bear market. And I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, and then I'm going to hit the 4 hour. Let's get the zoom in. Okay, Lee, how much time do I have? 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. All that I can see now at this stage is, I don't want to use that tool. What do we have, Lee? Lower low, lower highs, lower low. So we can't touch this thing at this stage, correct? So until it starts giving us a higher high, pause, we can't do anything about it. So I'm looking at this now, and I see, well, there's the last bearish engulfing structure. Easy way for you to do this, just do a line, see? Zigzag, zigzag. So we're looking at that zig, or that zag, I don't know which one you want to call it. Boom, there it's going down, right? Change the character, didn't make a lower low, and made a higher high. Okay, so with that being said, that's the first move. Now, I kind of sped up this a little bit too much, but I'm just going to draw out the line. So where did we have demand? We had demand over there. Simply put, test it. Then we had demand over there. I'm going to pull it over, the 50% line. Test it. Okay. And now what we do, we've got more demands. Now, for anybody that's been on this call many times now, you guys know this now. This is how I trade. Simply, I draw a demand line and I look to test it, and then I look for the momentum to continue. Simple as that. That's the simplest way to trade. Okay, so you've got this now. So where would be the next demand zone? Well, based on this, I would want to see us break trend first. What do? From this level, take the last little area there, I'll take it to that zone there, and then I'll put my fib retracement in. And I'll track this momentum. This is the line you're allowed to move and shift. I'll track the momentum until I get to a point where I can see we're due for another retrace. Once we have that retrace, I can start identifying demands to get tested. Why? Because I'm in the market. So now let's play this and let's see how it works. Let's slow it down so I don't miss too much. So we're going, we're losing momentum. Open close below the 23.6. There's the open close below the 23.6. So now what do? Well, we can flip to different time frames to look for confluence. Now, what do I mean by that is, well, first thing is what we always look at, support resistance. It's a lateral level. So if that is a lateral range we would want to look at, I would want to try and see and look for more areas of confluence where price wanted to migrate around that area. It's a very messy stage at this. Remember, it's a new coin. It's still new. So you don't really know that much. But what I like to see is normally is when we make a higher high, like this one over here, I'm going to flip to a line like that. Normally the structure that engulfs that gives you, again, a 50%. So if I look at that 50% at 4.495, it lines up with the original structure's 618. So now I've got two levels that lines up with confluence. Okay. Lee, you're laughing.
No, people can see that I pivot through the screen, really.
They can see.
I'll go get some sleep just right after this demo.
I actually begged him this morning to listen to Dr. Chart Artist, and this guy ignored me flat. So I'm going to deny him the YouTube tomorrow if it doesn't go get some rest and feel better.
No, the thing is, like, if I don't show up on a YouTube, my mom will phone me and say, what's going on? You know, see, I'm not here. So I prefer to be here to make her feel, you know, I'm right.
Your screen time with your mom.
I'm going to be okay. Sorry, guys. Rudo, continue with your chart.
Okay, buddy. Right. Okay, so now we've got two confluences. I haven't even looked at, this is now for this instance, stochastic RSI or any other oscillator, a momentum indicator. Okay, so the argument is that's going to be the area where we want to buy. Now, if I look at this and I identify this zone here, I can then flip to a smaller time frame just to see if I can pick up where the demand zone is, because that would probably be the area where I would want to buy. So if I look at this range there, that would be the sweet spot area where I would want to try and buy the demand. I would want to try and get it over there. So let's play and let's see what happens. Where would my stop be? Well, the nice thing is my stop can be quite tight because I don't want it to see below this, go below those lows that created the structure. So that's going to be the area where I put my stop limit. So there's my buy zone. There's my stop. Let's see what happens. Only time I can invalidate this or say, well, it's never going to come is when. Well, I've got a momentum line sitting over there, and I've got another momentum line. Probably at this stage, I would be tracking it to see whether it wants to accelerate down or whether it's going to just keep on testing this on its way back down. So let's play. Let's see what it does. So we're getting close to that area, and we immediately wick through. Pause. So I said to you guys many times, there isn't a strategy that gives you 100%. But the argument is, if you know the profitability and the probability of your strategy playing out, you always will have a stop limit. Because if you don't have a stop limit, then you're telling yourself you know what's going to happen next. So at this stage, I would have been stopped out. I would be down 5%. I still want to get in, but guess what? I just rode this big wave to the upside. Only to get stopped out at the re-entry. Do I really feel bothered about this? No. My risk management tells me. And just because I'm bullish on this long term, because I got a sweet entry over there, doesn't necessarily mean I have to be bullish forever. Because guess what? Look at how everybody was hoping around that area. It literally wicked right through it. Okay, so now there's a loss. Let's continue. We're accelerating at an even bigger stage. There's that additional momentum line that I was talking to you about. Where's more demand area? Well, nothing really changed. Let's just clean the screen a bit because we've got a lot of levels now. Where was additional demand? But if I flip back to a higher time frame like a 4 hour, there was the big impulse. Where was that demand? Simply put, sitting right over there. I can now go and fine tune that. Go back to my 1 hour. I can fine tune that and see, okay, right. There's the 50% wick test. See how the market always copies itself? This instance, it's a little bit messy, but there you could see, there's the 50%. So on that basis, where's the last little wick that gave us a crazy move? 50% sits over there. So I would imagine buying at 4.147 after we just took that knock is still going to be an opportunity for me. So let's play this. Let's see what it does. Okay, so now we're losing momentum, but now we first need to make a higher high before I can validate that. See? Broke through demand. Pause. Okay, so exactly the same thing. So as we're tracking momentum, and we've given you guys on Bitcoin small time frame buys like this, and then we say, well, it's not going to go anywhere. Because why? Still not making any higher highs. So now second demand is lost. So we had a ride that we felt like a champ. We tried A, we tried B, lost again. What do we do now? Let's delete this. You can't short this. Well, this is a futures one, but you can't necessarily short everything. So what do you do now? Well, you're out of the market. We're definitely trending down. We've got a trend that's strong. What do? We track the momentum and we wait. Yes.
You're over time by 1 minute. So if you're going to explain this
I'm going to be very
atom
quickly.
chart from 2020 until today on 1 hour chart, I have to go. I'm sorry. you can close it. You can close it off with some maybe alt update to all that you called maybe last week. But okay, I guess we get your point here, no?
Yeah. So the argument is you wait until it makes another higher high. Can you see there? No higher high, still not ready, and so forth and so forth. So now you wait for a structure to form, and see, making lower lows still. There's our first opportunity now. Let's take this from here onwards. I'll leave it here for tomorrow. We take a little bit more. Let's quickly have a look at those alts. Thanks for reminding me, Lee. Okay, so this was the Telos. Let's just quickly have a look at MATIC. Remember now what we said? MATIC's at that range, sitting above the 23.6. So if you have your MATIC, you're still allowed to be a little bit more patient. It's not opening, closing below the 23.6. We're going to Mana. Let's quickly have a look at this one. At this stage, 23.6, same thing. No, we don't have this one. Sorry. Apologize. I was waiting for that buy zone. Did we make a higher high? No. So buy zone probability still there. We're still okay. We can wait for it. Okay, polls. Looking at this one, are we at that 50% line of that wick? Not quite there. Have we lost 23.6? Yes. Have we broken our trend? Not yet. Okay, so you could take some profit and wait a little bit. I'll buy this area here. I'll buy back if I want new money. If not, with the existing position, I'll still wait because this is still my take profit range at that $2.40. Let's quickly go to Tezos. Tezos sitting below. It made a new higher high, still sitting above the 23.6. Still good to wait for this one. Target still up there. The same for EGLD. Let's just quickly have a look, make sure. Open. So it open, closed. It's set at that area here. So this is a tricky one. So this is where your momentum lines come in. You can use your momentum line. Now you're allowed to flip into a 4 hour. Because we're sitting in an area where I still have that target sitting right up there. If EGLD breaks and gets above this area, look at all these promises. Promises to buy. All these areas. Look at all those promises. You should see the alarm bell. That's why when retail traders pattern trade, sometimes it works because look at all those promises. So if we can get above it and there's enough promises there, the market's literally just going to jump this range and continue onwards. So we're going to have to wait and see. GRT sitting above the 23.6. This is now a smaller time frame. Let's just get back to our daily. Sitting above the 23.6. No reason to exit this one just yet. IOTex exit, and we're still waiting. You can see there we broke above it and we had that crazy wick. So it's basically this scenario playing out on EGLD, where I was talking about. Getting above it, there might be enough momentum to just shoot it up. And this one does exactly the same now. Okay. That said, if you bought back, remember now we took profit at around this range. So sometimes now we just have to wait. And the big, most profitable buy, probable buy area is going to be sitting around this range. So for those that's still in it, if you can get that nice run, enjoy it. For those that's out, you wait for that buy because it's the area where I can manage the risk properly. Okay, this one over here, GMT. Let's just get back to the daily because this is getting a little bit crazy. This is the new one, Lee. This is where your targets were sitting at. So your indicator actually showed this one. So let's just skip this one because we're over time. And then Flux. Flux sitting below the 23.6. It's off a higher high. That's good. We can probably look for a buy tomorrow on Flux. We do have enough time. Okay, Lee, that's about everything. So we want a bit more rewind trading. Maybe, Lee, you know what? I've got an idea, buddy. Mm-hmm. Why don't we do this type of stuff, the rewind stuff, when we live trade as well? Because we can't play music. We can't sit there and stare at each other as well, because Lee doesn't make good small talk.
You can do that. I prefer to watch my 1 minute chart, jumping up and down, then rewind the chart. But yeah, you can do that in the meantime. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how we do that on Twitch. Okay, guys. All the official links are in the description below. Please don't Google and look for stuff. Look for the stuff because you can get to scam accounts, and we don't want to see anybody wrecked. So please do that. See you guys tomorrow, Lee, as ever. You keep resting, and I'll keep hustling today.
Good.
Keep hustling.
If Lee's mom is listening, he has to go straight to bed now.
妈妈没事没事，我很好，妈妈，谢谢啊。I'm fine.